Everyone is talking about alignment like it's some place of flow and space and ease. But what if the real alignment is actually the disillusionment, the chaos before the big breakthrough? There is a lot of noise, there is a lot of nonsense that is going around where I see this theme repeated over and over again about alignment, find your alignment, and when it's aligned, it's going to feel good, it's going to feel easy, it's going to feel effortless. And I want to kind of talk about this because real alignment is actually the truth that you feel inside of yourself, and the truth sometimes it's not going to be easy, it's not going to be effortless, it's not going to be rainbows and butterflies and all things great and effortless, right? Because when you are really tuned into the intuition, into your own voice, into your own inner being, and you are listening actually to the truth, sometimes it's going to tell you something really harsh about yourself, about the world, about your worldview in general. And especially if you are living your life in a way where you are used to kind of following the comfort, you are used to following the effortlessness, and you are used to following the energy where it leads you, it's not necessarily means that you are in alignment. I also used to believe that alignment means that everything is gonna just come to me effortlessly, that I don't even have to put any effort, and that if I have to push something or try harder, then that means I am out of alignment. But that's not the truth, right? Sometimes we are so blind to see the truth, we are not actually willing to hear the truth or to see the truth or to accept the truth. So we are looking for an excuse, we are looking for a way out, we are looking for a way around to get around it instead of facing the truth and perhaps deciding and choosing the hard thing, choosing the decision that doesn't come effortlessly, because we reframe it as, okay, it's out of alignment, I shouldn't do it. If it was in alignment, it wouldn't feel like that, it wouldn't be so hard, it wouldn't be so difficult. But that's sometimes it is the exact test that you need to go through in order to level up, in order to get to the next level. Like I was telling in the other video about the void. So there is the void as well, and then there is this big chaos and kind of movements that needs to happen to rearrange your life, to rearrange your situation in order to get you where you want to be and where you are supposed to go. And it's not always going to be effortless, okay? So it doesn't mean that you are out of alignment if it doesn't feel necessarily effortless. Because if you could only imagine, if you could only see the bigger picture, you would not doubt that the chaos or the big breakthroughs or the hard situations are happening, but they are in front of something that is beyond that, okay? So if you see the bigger picture, you wouldn't question that, you would just go through that because you know it's leading you where you want to be and where you need to get. I remember when I kind of thought that I fell out of alignment, it was when I started looking into the spirituality and all these things, and I was really putting emphasis on this, like it should be really effortless, it should feel like everything is working out, and it should be easy, okay? So I thought naively that everything should be very easy and effortless. And when the first hardship came and I got into it, I felt like, okay, this is completely out of alignment, I'm not supposed to be doing this, I cannot do this, it's too hard, it's too difficult. And I was kind of not willing to face myself and face the truth that this is also part of the challenge, right? This is part of the alignment, because if you are truly and really aligned, you're going to be able and you're going to be actually willing to listen to your inner truth, your inner self. You can also call it an intuition. And I just want to tell you that just because it is your intuition and it's still in alignment doesn't mean that it's going to be making sense all the time, okay? So most of the time, alignment is going to look like something that doesn't actually make sense at all. It's going to be very illogical sense of intuition that you need to follow through or that you need to face, okay? So most times than not, it is completely illogical, because the logical brain, it works on the patterns, it works on the programs, it works on the things that we have been placed in our mind, and we prove to ourselves they are working, and we prove to ourselves that they are safe and they are familiar, right? So now we are going back to the topic of logic. But intuition is something completely else, okay? It's the inner voice, it's the deep knowing that you hear when everything else is shut off, when everything else is quiet. You hear that inner voice that's telling you something. And like I said, most often than not, it's gonna be very illogical. For example, you have a very good paid job. You are making a lot of money. You are building your career. You are doing very well in that job, right? It's paying your bills. It's allowing you to travel. It's allowing you to have a comfortable lifestyle. And yet that inner voice is telling you to quit that job. So obviously you're going to be questioning, what's this? Why would I quit that job if it's allowing me to have a really comfy lifestyle, better than I had before, better than I thought I could? Whatever, there's going to be a million reasons coming up in your logical brain. But that inner intuition, that inner knowing is telling you, regardless, quit that job. And it doesn't literally make any sense, okay? So this is what I want you to realize. There is no sense of that inner knowing. When you listen, and when you really truly learn how to listen to that, when you distinguish what is your fear-based logical brain and what is your intuition that's guiding you towards your alignment, then you will be able to distinguish that, okay? At first it will be very, very surprising, and you will be questioning, did I lose my mind? Why am I thinking that? Why do I want to quit this job? But it's gonna be much harder to resist actually this inner voice. The longer you try to do that, the harder it's gonna become, okay? And it comes to the point where if you don't listen to that, the universe, your life, whatever you want to call it, is going to rearrange everything in order for you to start listening and to start paying attention to what it's trying to tell you. So what you can do by listening to this video, if you start having this awareness and if you start listening to that inner knowing and start recognizing that when it's trying to speak to you, when it's trying to guide you, you can start acting before your life turns into chaos, before it pushes you, literally pushes you to do that. And it's going to be much more difficult for you. It's going to be harder for you, but still the outcome is leading you towards the same event, towards the same situation, towards the same reality that you're supposed to live. But you are just perhaps resisting it too much right now because you are trying to follow your logical brain instead of this inner knowing, this intuition, this alignment, okay? So alignment is also going to lead you towards difficult choices. It's not always going to be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Sometimes it's going to be really hard. And the longer you resist it, the longer you not listen to it, the more chaos it's going to bring into your life. And sometimes it's going to bring chaos into your life even regardless of that, because if you are meant for something that is much bigger than you could ever thought, you cannot even imagine it in your life, what the plans are for you, then anyway, your life is going to need to rearrange. Sometimes from the roots, sometimes it's going to be little arrangements, but anyway and either way, it's going to happen one way or another, okay? So try not to resist that and try to start listening to that inner voice. Try to start understanding when it's coming and that it is not your logic, it is not your fears, it is not your logical brain trying to hold you back from that, it is not the programming, it is the simple truth, okay? The truth, it's honest, it's real, and it's no sugarcoating. It's just telling you literally what you have to do. You just have to listen. You just have to listen. And once you start listening to that, you will see how your life is going to start rearranging into your favor. It's going to start rearranging in the most magical way you cannot even possibly comprehend with your mind. I also want to mention that we often mistake familiarity with alignment, which is completely different topics, right? because familiarity is something that you are used to, that you made yourself familiar. It became your comfort zone in one way or another. And alignment is going to be most often than not outside of your comfort zone, because it is something that is guiding you to expand yourself. Okay, we came here on this planet, on this universe, in one way or another. We are forever expanding. Okay, as long as we are expanding, we are living. So if you want to expand, obviously it's going to be outside of your comfort zone. So it's going to be outside of the familiar. That is where the alignment is. Okay, and that's again another mistake people are doing when they are thinking, okay, this is stretching me too much. It feels very unfamiliar. I'm starting panicking. I'm starting to freak out. I don't know this at all. It's very unfamiliar to me. It must be out of alignment. It must be something that is not meant for me. It feels really, really hard and difficult. And that's the other mistake, because you cannot confuse the unfamiliarity and alignment, because it is still leading you towards your expansion. And again, we are coming back to the same thing. You need to listen to your inner self, your inner truth. And if your inner truth is telling you, yes, go there, this is it, listen to it, go there. Okay, don't try to resist it, because it's going to be even more difficult for you. And you can even twist it in your mind and think that, okay, I'm in alignment because now I'm comfortable, I'm in my comfort zone, this is my safe place, I feel good here. No, that's not alignment. That's just pretense in your mind. Your mind is playing tricks on you and trying to keep you in the familiar, trying to keep you in the safe and familiar comfort zone. But we want to expand. And expansion is going to guide you and lead you towards unfamiliar paths. And you have to walk that path if you want to progress, if you want to expand. There is an illusion that alignments comes easily and calm. Okay, but oftentimes alignment and the calm comes after the storm. So whether it's going to be internally, externally, the choice is up to you. Because if you're working with your internal wounds and your patterns and your fears, then it's going to be, let's say, easier on the outside, because you do a lot of work on your inner self, and then the outside will reflect that. Sometimes you're going to feel like you're losing your alignment, and this is happening because, like I'm telling you in a lot of my previous videos, there is a parts of you that have to literally shed from you or die, and they cannot come to the next level. So it's going to feel very difficult and very hard, actually. Not a lot of people talk about that, but yes, if you want to upgrade, yes, if you want to up level, yes, if you want to have a great lifestyle, whatever it is, you're gonna be required over and over again to shed the parts of you that cannot come with you there, because they would not be able to survive. And you're gonna be going through this over and over and over again. So you're gonna better make yourself familiar with this feeling, to letting these parts of you die and making peace with that, because another level is going to require a different you. And it doesn't mean that you are out of alignment, quite the opposite, okay? So if it feels like you are out of alignment, but you are still expanding and shedding these parts of you, it is actually a proof that you are indeed in alignment. If it feels very uncomfortable right now, you may be in the perfect place for you to shed all the identities, all those things that are not supposed to come with you to the next level, and really listen to your inner knowing, to your inner truth, because that's the only thing that's going to guide you forward, that's going to propel you forward, and that's still inside of alignment. If you're feeling right now that you are out of alignment because it doesn't feel easy, it doesn't feel effortless, that is just your mind playing tricks on you and trying to little by little put you back into your comfort zone, into the little comfortable box where you will be feeling like, okay, this is easy, this is effortless, but you have no growth there. And if you set your goal over here, you have to stretch yourself. You have to go through these growing pains, because it's all a part of that. So don't lose your hope. Remember that alignment is sometimes going to feel very harsh and very difficult, and it's going to require you to face yourself, to face your inner truth, your intuition, and to do those decisions that feel like really, really hard ones. But they are going to guide you forward. They are going to guide you where you're supposed to be. If you dare to listen to them, if you really, really anchor yourself into that, knowing that alignment is sometimes going to require you to do that. And if you don't lose hope during that, you're going to be rewarded on the other side for sure. So I would love to hear from you guys if you are currently going through this, and even if you have situation where you felt like you were out of alignment, and if at the end it ended up being even better than you could have ever imagined, or if you have situation where you listened to that inner voice and how did it feel for you. It would be super helpful for other people also to hear in the comments how do you reconnect and connect to that inner voice, to that inner truth.